Thank you, Remco. So just bear with me. There are two reasons. One is that, yeah, there's construction area everywhere in Amsterdam at this time, so you might hear some drilling. I'm trying to mask as much as possible this noise, but yeah, I cannot do anything about it. And also, I'm recently coming back from from coronavirus, so if you see me gasping for air, it's fine. Don't worry. So yeah, as Martijn introduced, and also presentation from Martijn Loos as well. It's a very interesting topic. It's something that we haven't presented so far, the partnership, but for this presentation, ourselves, we are focusing more on the Horizon calls belonging to the cluster 4, cluster 5 or 6, those focusing on industry on digital and space, or in any other topics that you will see a little bit later. So this is the structure of Horizon funding, and I think the partnership there would be where would you place them, Martijn? From this point of view, there will be pillar number
2. So they're actually in the same working programs as the other initiatives that you include.
Okay, yeah. So this is Horizon Europe. The cycle for Horizon Europe is between 2021 and 2027. Before Horizon Europe, we had Horizon 2020, which finished, of course, in 2020. Now we are in the new cycle, ending actually the first 2 years. The Commission published their work program, and the calls, they are coming in the same 2-year cycle. So you will find these calls in one of the clusters mentioned in pillar number 2, but also something new that has been added in addition to Horizon 2020. What was before are also the missions. The link to all the work programs are hyperlinked here. Yeah, this is the amount of budget that has been put aside for each of the pillars. For pillar number 2, as you can see, it's 53.5 billion. It's 50% of the whole Horizon Europe. That's a huge amount of investment and research and innovation action, also for coordination and support actions. Today we focus on biodiversity. How we should actually decode the calls once they are published online. So it's actually quite simple. It starts with Horizon. This is actually mentioning to which program belongs, and Horizon Europe is one of the most important and biggest programs within Europe. Then the next indicator is CL6, which means it belongs to cluster number 6, digital industry and space. You have there also hyperlinked the work package, the work program from which we took this call. And then also what follows is 2023. This is the year when the call is going to be published, and this is the year which also indicates from which work program belongs. In this case, 2023, 2024. And then you have biodiversity, which is actually indicates the destination, and then in this case, it's destination 1, biodiversity and ecosystem services. A special sort of calls, as I mentioned, and we keep mentioning this for the past 2 webinars. There's also a special type of calls. They follow the same rule. Basically, those are missions. Those are more focused on demonstration and pilots, and then they focus on finding concrete solutions. So we selected for you to see how we can decode the same call, but in this case for a mission call. So the only difference that you can see here, for instance, is the mission indicative, which basically makes the difference between addressing one of the clusters. In this case, it's actually not about the cluster; it's about the mission. again, the year, 2023, and then it's the missions. There are 5 missions that have been established by the European Commission, and then from this 5 missions, this specific one that we selected as being related to biodiversity, it's about restore our ocean and waters by 2030. I have to mention that there are some calls where 2 or 3 missions can be put together. So basically they are under 2 or 3 missions. So you have oceans, ocean, water, ocean, ocean and soil, for example, or something like this. You will see when I'm going to present the table with the calls. So these are the tables with the calls. These are all the calls that we have been selected for the past period, and then we would like to forward to you for your interest. So as you can see, there are calls from cluster 5, but then also from cluster 6, from destination 0 pollution. Then from cluster 6 as well, you have a call focusing on destination 1, the biodiversity. And then these are the calls for 2023, but also we identify calls on 2024. And then you have them listed as well. And then, as I mentioned, and then you see also being presented here, there's calls that can be research and innovation action. For this year, I don't see any innovation action, but yeah, that might be in emission. But also you have for this case, program co-fund action, Horizon 2023-2024 climate, European partnership, water security for the planet, water for all. So this is what actually Martijn specified previously. So this is one of the calls that we identify ourselves being relevant to biodiversity. So this probably you could also find in what Martijn mentioned as well. So there's also PCP, pre-commercial procurement type of call. This is very interesting one because it's a special type of call where co-creation and co-design with clients, with users happens in order to provide prototypes, end-user services, and other tools and applications for different types of stakeholders. And as I mentioned in the beginning, these are the missions that we identify as being relevant for biodiversity. So you have here 8 calls on this page from 2023. Yeah, and these are actually all the mission calls that we have identified as being related to biodiversity. How you can find more information for each of the calls? For that, we wanted to make your life easier, and then we prepare for each of the calls that you saw in the previous tables. We prepare a fact sheet. These fact sheets can be actually retrieved from the open calls websites that Remco mentioned in the beginning. In this case, I put up there 2 fact sheets, one for a cluster 6 biodiversity call opening in 2023, and another one for mission Ocean 001 opening also in 2023. So the structure of these fact sheets is actually standard, and you can retrieve information such as what is the scope, what is the topic that is looking for, and also information about when the call is going to open and when is the deadline of the call. Since we are discussing about entering into a new cycle or into a new work program 2023-2024, although the program has been already published, the exact dates of opening this call is not yet known, but this will become available quite soon, I guess. Other funding opportunity is very nice because I haven't talked with Martijn before, but it's nice that I'm listing here Biodiversity as well. So Biodiversity was largely explained by Martijn Loos, but also I have shortlisted here a number of other opportunities for funding. You can go and click on the blue text, and then you will be redirected to the page that treats these other sources of funding in more detail. Sorry. So I just put 2 slides that I thought that might be interesting for you to know. Probably you already know them, but as Martijn specified, Europe is committed to a series of objectives and actions to be fulfilled by 2030, and I just mentioned them in here, and then also within the European Commission Biodiversity, there have been published a series of tools and application, and I just put it here, a series of indicators that the European Commission works on. So these are very interesting in order to frame your proposal and then get inspired when you apply for such a project, when you write your proposal, to actually be in line and then use this type of information also into developing your concept or even your proposal. And I also have put in here, within the European Commission, there are several knowledge centers. There's also one knowledge center on biodiversity. And also I have added here Europa Bonn, which is quite an interesting association or network. It's actually Europa Biodiversity Observation Network. Personally, I don't know too many information, but from our side, probably they are better informed colleagues about this this network. But what I can tell you, it's a very active network, and it numbers a lot of partners. And then yeah, as is written there, the mission is to integrate data streams in order to support policy. And I know that all the projects that have been funded so far within the biodiversity cause from 2020, 2021, 2022, most of the projects, they also look to Europa Bonn as being part of the advisory board, or even invite as partners into their project. Where you can find also more partners, ground station dotSpace has been doing for the past 2 years a lot of work in this area, mapping the ecosystems, space ecosystems, and we have done this in a very thorough way for 2 countries, for the Netherlands and then for the Czech Republic. Why Czech Republic? It's quite simple, because the European Space Program Agency is located in Prague, EUSPA. For the general information, for the Dutch company planning to apply to Horizon project, to Horizon Europe calls, the Dutch Enterprise Agency, RVO, through their national contact points, open up the possibility to be in contact with their advisors, and they will advise you about your proposal that you intend to do. Also, they could provide you feedback about your proposal if it aligns with with the outcomes of the call. Another link here is the link to CEDIA, which is the European portal, the single electronic data interchange area. Is actually where you would start to search for the calls, and then you will find the calls organized using the IDs that I presented in the beginning of my presentation. And also I've put here a link to YouTube channels which present information about the Horizon Europe programs, info days. Basically, for each cluster there's an info day, and each call is being taken and then studied in detail what is the call title, what is the call scope, what is the expected outcome, and also there a set of question and answer that might be very interesting for you to follow in order to learn more about what will be a successful proposal. And then finally, I think one of the last slide is presenting the forthcoming webinars. We can scratch biodiversity, at least half of it. What follows is the farm to fork, and then also you can find on our pages the previous webinars focusing on the previous 4 thematics. And also I would like to mention here the fact that we are currently involved into a biodiversity project called Nature First. So yeah, that would be everything from my side, Remco.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrei. We will send you all this information by email. I said it in the chat earlier. There's a long list of clickable links that we saw in your presentation, so you will all receive these slides shortly. So you can read all that information in all the quietness of your office. You showed us on one of your last slides, Andrei, all these different organizations that can help. How do Ground Station and the Netherlands Space Office fit in that list? Where can people go, either to Ground Station or to the Netherlands Space Office for support as well?
I think that applies because the Ground Station dotSpace, it's an open innovation platform. It's also an engagement capacity building. Goes within our biography. We know we are quite familiar with the European project because we applied for them before, but also we have a large network of companies, research institutes, and that's where I think we have maybe we can have a bigger role into helping you finding partners for future calls from this point of view. But not only, we do a lot of, as I said, a lot of capacity building. This can also be shaped in one way or another. We don't provide services how you should write your proposal, because I think there are other companies that do that. Our intention is actually to provide guidance and also helping you to find the right partners in the right consortia.
Okay, very well. And those space industry maps, those ecosystem maps that you showed us, you can find those on our website. Just search on the website for space industry or for space ecosystem, and you'll find them. Right?
Definitely. And then don't forget to reference us for it.
Thank you. Very good point.